Hey guys, what's going on? So after hours and hours of staring at the car, I finally came up with a design on how to plumb my turbo manifolds. Obviously have them facing forward due to the turbo being mounted up front. And then I also have the manifolds flipped upwards. The reason behind that, honestly, is just for looks. I hate to spend all that time building custom manifolds and then have them kind of tucked up underneath the motor. I want to show off my work. So that's the reason behind that. It just looks that much more insane. Pop the hood and that's all you see is your manifolds kind of curling over top of the engine. So that's the reason behind that. As for the manifolds, I bought the kit from Motion Raceworks. They're 1 7/8 stainless steel with the 3-inch collector. I also bought a reducer down to 2.5 to my turbo, just to try to help it spool a little bit better. But then in the future, if need, I can upgrade it to 3-inch. I'll already have the 3-inch collector, so that's the reason behind that. Steering column, I got about 1/2 inch of play back there, so I should be good there. My coils and spark plugs, I'm going to have to relocate. I think I'm going to put them in underneath where the motor mounts used to be, just because it is tight up here, but it is what it is. I can still get to all my spark plugs pretty decent. As for the passenger side, I was just fighting with number 2 right now, just to try to get a tight enough bend to get it to the flange, just due to the cylinder heads being offset. So this side is a lot tighter than number 1 on this side. So yeah, and I want my collectors to be kind of in the same plane. I don't want one sticking out more than the other, so that's the reason behind that. This one's going to be a little bit tighter than the other one. So, but as for the headers, they kind of share the same geometry. You kind of can see that, kind of same design, a little bit different, but you get the picture. And then once I get this one all figured out, it's just a matter of taking all the tubes apart and welding it all nice. And then I can move on to plumbing up the turbo. The way I'm going to do the turbo, obviously have your 2 tubes going to the turbo. It's a divided one, so I can just run them 2 separate to the flange. And then I want to do fender exits, but I don't want to do 1. I want to do 2. So that's the reason why the turbo's centered in the car. I'd like to do something like this out each fender, but we'll see. Just a matter of if I do that, it's going to have to be centered in order for it to look good. But then I'm going to have to change my cooling system around. So then it's a matter, is a radiator this small going to be enough to cool the engine, or do I get dual rads, or it's just one of those things, right? So it's always something, but it is what it is. Keeps me busy. Yeah, I'll quickly go over the turbo here. Here's the turbo, guys. I ended up going with an 80 mil from VS Racing. It's got a billet compressor wheel on it with a T6 flange, the 132 exhaust housing. I think the turbine wheel is a 96. Planning on going with a pretty decent turbo, but like I said, things popped up and I ended up going the cheaper route. So I think I got this for about $1,000 Canadian, so I can't complain about that. And the thing with this is I can start building the turbo setup right now. I don't have to save up more money in order to buy the turbo, so I can start the setup. So that's a bonus as well. Probably go through about 3 of these turbos by the time it would cost me for one good one. So if it lasts me the season, I'll be happy. At least I can start picking away at my turbo setup. I think one of you guys actually recommended the turbo, so thanks for that. I actually stumbled upon it watching Sloppy Mechanics. If you think of budget build LS's, that's the first name that pops in my head. I guess he uses these things all the time, and he's made 1,000 to the wheels multiple times with different cars with that turbo, so I should be laughing. If I can make 1,000 to the wheels, that'd be freaking insane. As for the AR housing and T6 flange, it's probably going to be a little bit lazy on the street. But at the track, if you have all the proper electronics and stuff, bump box, 2-step, blah, 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 shouldn't take that long to get up on boost. Just a matter of getting the aftermarket ECM to help me out. So anyways, guys, I just wanted to give you an update, show you my progress with the turbo setup. Hopefully by next video, like I said, I'll have the headers all welded up and I can maybe start plumbing up the turbo. But we'll see. Everything takes time. I think that's going to be it for the video. As always, like, comment, subscribe. Appreciate all of you, and I'll talk to you guys next week. See you guys.